on the show Dawa Dynamics and every Sunday on the Dawa Chronicles at 9 p.m., remembering the companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Join the discussion, analyze the lives, sacrifices, and contributions of the Prophet's companions, and learn from their experience.
A station for conversation, Radio Al Ansar.
Get ready for Green Thumbs Up, the gardening and natural living show you didn't know you needed. I'm your host and life coach, Rabia Carvalho, and we're talking birds, bees, butterflies, and blooms, growing food in garden rooms, home-based holistic healing, and much more. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or nature lover, plant assassin, or permaculture professional, we got you. We got you. Let us bring you the ideas, the facts, support, and inspiration to go green wherever you are. Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. only on Radio Al Ansar.
Look at the sun, look at this.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban, 90.4 FM. Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Stars shining so bright in the middle of the night. Look, there's a shooting star. Do you ever wonder who created this and who created that? Allah created everything.
Hey, it's Green Thumbs Up Day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are with Radio Al Ansar on 90.4 FM in Durban, 105.6 in Pietermaritzburg, and everywhere on the social medias on Radio Al Ansar. I'm Rabia Carvalho. If we haven't met, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you this fine Sunday? Inshallah, all is well with you. It has been incredibly hot. We're going to look at the weather. We're going to have a gardening roundup for the month coming up because this is a transition month for all over South Africa. And that is with Dr. Carrie Goodwin, which is no stranger to the station. But I'm going to remind you a little of who she is. And then we're going to be talking to Andre Kutsia, who is coming in and telling us a little bit about reticulation and irrigation in the home. Yes, darlings, that's us. With me in studio, you've heard the laughter, you've heard the giggles, you've heard the chuckles, and now you know the voice already because he's being recognized out there in Al Ansar land in the real life. Is Brother Sibnisi Mkhize. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ayo, it's good to be back in the
Alhamdulillah.
building.
Hey, man, you feeling better?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Sibnisi was down.
Yo,
Down.
I was nearly to go.
Hey, no, you weren't ready.
Nah.
No, you only go in a last timing. Only in a last timing. I've got a little message for you before we bring on sister. Well, she is a sister, I suppose, although she's not Muslim.
Oh, wow.
But we're all born Muslim, aren't we? Yes, we are. So that is Carrie Goodwin. And she is kind of a member of our community already because she's with us so often. But before we bring her in, I've got a story for you. For all of Radio Al Ansar, because everybody always says they like the story. So here's a little story. It's about a little boy called Leo.
Mm-hmm.
So in the corner of the yard, Leo stared at a patch of bare dirt. Nothing's happening, he huffed, crossing his arms. I planted that seed ages ago. From the porch, his grandmother chuckled. Patience, Leo. Use your ears, not just your eyes. So Leo leaned in close to the soil. At first, there was only silence. Then he imagined a tiny, muffled voice deep underground. Oh, pushing. The seed squeaked. It's dark down here, but I'm finding my way. The sun beamed down with a warm golden hum. Reach up, little one. I've got a bright surprise waiting for you. The sun shone brightly. The rain tapped a rhythmic beat on leaves. Pat-a-tap-tap, pat-a-tap-tap. Drink deep, little root, you're getting stronger every second. Pat-a-tap-tap, pat-a-tap-tap. Leo realized that even when he couldn't see it, the garden was hard at work. He stopped huffing and started humming along. I'm here too, he whispered. I'll keep the weeds away. But midsummer, a giant sunflower towered over him. We did it! Leo shouted. The flower didn't speak, but bowed its golden head in the breeze as if to say, Thanks for waiting for me. The message in the story is the best things in life grow quietly. Just because you can't see the progress yet doesn't mean the magic isn't happening. Aha!
That's awesome.
Awesome. Grow quietly. Build in secret, all of y'all out there. Stop telling everybody your lives. Ain't nobody want to know. Be like the seed. Build quietly. And then, pa-da-da! Here you are, shining, flourishing. Inshallah. Absolutely. So we've got a few messages already coming in. People making salams, and that is wonderful. Jazakallah for those messages. You know where to reach us, 0609041056. Now, we are waiting for Carrie Goodwin to join us once again, and what I do want to do is introduce you a little bit to her, because, you know, it's so easy to forget these people that we have here on the show, because they become regulars, right? They become regulars, and then we kind of forget all about them. So Dr. Carrie Goodwin, she's a doctor because she's actually got her PhD, and it's all about water conservation. She has a family business, a family-run business that's all about plants. Yes, it is. She's received quite numerous awards in terms of gardening, and we are very, very fortunate to have her here with us on the show once a month to give us a bit of a weekly roundup so that we know what is coming up. Now, she's based in Johannesburg, and we have her on the show yet again this morning. So good morning, Carrie, and welcome to Green Thumbs Up.
Good. Sorry, there we go. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. It's to chat to you. It's been a while, it feels.
Yes, it has been a while. You know, we normally do once a month, but I think last month we started you early in the month. And so it kind of does feel like way too long. So now, this is a transition month, February, right? For us everywhere in South Africa, you know, Cape Town being Mediterranean and Durban being more subtropical. And then we've got, we've got Johannesburg, which is more of highland, right? It's also subtropical though. So what are we doing? Are we prepping for the winter, or are we kind of mid-season trying to plant some stuff that will, you know, have one leg in the summer and one leg in the winter and make it happen? What are we doing? Oops. Oh dear. We have lost the video, but I see you're still there on audio. No?
In the summer
Okay.
and one leg of the winter. I do think some customers or some people might be looking at their garden and thinking, oh my goodness, it is time for it to, you know, become wintry. But I think there's so much we can do, and I'm going to say for ourselves and the environment, to rather have plants that are one leg in each season. Because when I look at my own garden and I look around the parks that I walk in and that sort of thing, I see that the birds are busy gathering all the seeds from the grasses. So I'm hoping that you have lots of grasses in your garden, and you know they've become overgrown, and they've got these lovely inflorescence on them, and they're very high in protein. And so when you have these birds twittering in your garden, you're thinking, oh, they're getting ready. So it's all that, to me, it's the anticipation of autumn, but we need to prepare for it rightly so. And so that I love the bees. So hopefully you've got lots of summer flowering, whether it be annuals, perennials. You know, our echinacea is looking great. The rudbeckia is looking great. And those are more perennials with bright flowers. So I turned off my camera because my signal didn't seem so great. But then, and you've got, you know, your annuals like your impatiens, your marigolds, your begonias, the zinnias and the dahlias. All of those sort of bulbs are full of pollen and nectar for the bees. And so although we get to enjoy them and we just say, oh, such a pretty garden, you know, for the environment in which we live, we're actually helping them prepare for winter. And I think that's super, super important at this time of the year. So I wouldn't like to be, I mean, we here in Joburg, I think it was a bit different. Actually, no, in Natal, I think it was the same. We had a lot of rain in December. So all our plants kind of went on steroids, and they're huge and they're big and they're blossoming, and they filled those gaps that we never thought they would fill so quickly. But I can see a lot of people are buying secateurs now and thinking, it's time to start pruning, it's time to cut back. And it is that, but just leave a little bit of wildness in your garden for the bugs, the bees, the birds, the butterflies. I mean, we also had quite a few customers who, are complaining that the snails are munching all their leaves.
The snails.
Yeah. So, and then you've got the caterpillars coming and, eating the amaryllis leaves and the clivia leaves and agapanthus. We seem to have a few customers who got bacteria, which is affecting the agapanthus, and it almost gives the agapanthus like a streaking look on it. And so I just think, be aware that the garden is for you and for everyone. Like this last week, I had the privilege of looking after my niece. So I got to become a mom for a week. And one of my favorite things of doing with her was in the mornings before we went to school, we sat in the garden and had breakfast. And then when we came home in the evenings, we did the same thing. And I thought it's actually quite strange, because when I'm by myself, I'm in such a rush that I don't take the time to appreciate everything that's in my garden. And now I do get to appreciate it. So I think appreciate your garden for what it is, because this is one of the best times. To me, our gardens are looking spectacular. It doesn't matter if you've put in the work or you haven't put in the work. The plants have put in the work for you. And they're truly looking out of this world.
Absolutely. I find exactly as you say, we put all this work into our gardens and then we look at it from the window. And in the mornings, go out there, sit in the garden, look at it, enjoy it. But there are certain things that we can grow. So whether you're in the Durban subtropical, the Cape Town Mediterranean, or you're in the subtropical highland in Johannesburg, I was looking at this this week and I was thinking, what can we do that's common? And I was quite surprised to find, going through some of the books and even looking online, that beetroot and cauliflower actually still do well in all three of these areas. So you can still be planting these in all of these areas. The same with carrots, actually. Not in Durban necessarily, but certainly in Cape Town and Johannesburg from a vegetables perspective. Now, we've got a couple of messages. Sister Fatima Effendi is saying, Assalamu alaikum, stay blessed. Welcome back, and sending us loads and loads of flowers. She says, may Allah always be pleased with you. Ameen. I love you for the sake of Allah. Have a blessed day. My goodness, all the love that's coming in, pouring into us. You and I, Carrie. So, and then sister, isn't it wonderful? Yes, all these people flowers. They are people flowers because they are sharing the beautiful fragrance of kindness with us. Absolutely. And Sister Tahira Lockhart says, Assalamu alaikum. What a beautiful story, darling Rabia, especially those voices underground and above ground. Mashallah. Yes, we did have a story. And then Sister Sarah, Bibi Mustafa, today she's doing all the emojis, darlings. All the emojis. There's all of them on here. She says, Assalamu alaikum. My dear Rabia Carvalho, hey, hey. Welcome to a beautiful, blessed Sunday, but scorching hot. Welcome to a beautiful green thumbs up. Salams and duas to you and your family and the entire Al Ansar family and your technician. I don't know. Hi, that is Benisim Kize. Convey my salams and duas to your mom. I hope you're keeping well as your mom. Oh my goodness, there are so many beautiful wishes coming in here, sister. Sarah, Bibi Mustafa. Jazakallah Ameen to read my message. So lots of love pouring in from the sisters, and I'm sure soon we will have a few jokes coming in, because every week they do send us these. But the joke's on you if you're not gardening, though, because even in pots, what can we be growing in pots on our veranda?
So actually, what surprises me with the pots is I have all my citrus in pots, but now I don't just have the normal lemon at Eureka. I've put the finger lime in as well. I can't wait for that the caviar. It looks like a caviar inside.
Yes,
and it's more of a bush, so I'm quite excited for that one. My calamondins are starting to fruit already, which I'm loving. And you know what's actually, I think a lot of people are starting to do is they're starting to put your basic veggies in pots. So, I'm talking more your the ones that you put on your plate all the time. So like your spinach, because I think it just makes it more accessible. Sometimes you don't even want to walk as far as the garden; you just want to walk out the kitchen door. So a spinach, all the green peppers. The peppers are doing beautifully this year, really thriving. The tomatoes do fabulously in pots. One of my friend's kids, he gave me like a whole handful of the little baby yellow tomatoes, and then some with the Roma tomatoes that we could put in the salad. And then he says, and I think I love it when the people start tasting their own food. And he says, you know, it might not be as crispy as the ones that we buy in one of the local green grocers or anything. But he says, I can just taste the meatiness of it. And it's full of goodness because I put so much nutrition into the soil, so much compost and a little bit of fertilizer. So he says, it has got a different taste to what it tastes like in the store. But I just love it. And it's ideal for salads and sauces. And I'm like, wow,
never mind
this is a 15-year-old.
You know, never mind a different taste. It actually has a taste.
Yeah.
Versus
True. And then we were at one of the charities that I work with, and they decided to terrace their local school. And then they had all the pumpkins. So the pumpkins were coming, and one of the ladies I was with was saying how she doesn't only eat the pumpkin as the fruit like I would eat it, but then she eats the flowers and the leaves. They use that and they mix it up. And they were growing okra, which was looking beautiful. And I you know, I'm sorry to say those
bindi for everybody out there. It's bindi okra.
Oh, okay. So I've never tasted okra, and it's always been a little bit of a nervous one for me to taste. But she said it's so delicious. When they start harvesting, they're going to invite me over so I can taste some okra, or as you say.
Yeah, I must tell you about something I learned about okra, because I never used to like it because it's a slimy little booger. And you're right. So, but there's a trick. There's a trick to it not being slimy. And all the sisters out there, all the ladies out there, if you've got other tips, put them in. But I learned this when I first started doing keto coaching, and I learned to do the okra or bindi in a way that, you know, doesn't have any starches in it. And here's the thing is, if you wash them, let them dry out completely before you cook them. And when you cook them, don't cook them in any liquid. That's what works for me. So I will take my dry spices, put it in the pan, and then take the okra, put it in the pan, let them talk to one another. And then only when it starts to kind of seal the goodness in, then only do I add my ghee. And, you know, if after that I want to add liquids and cream or whatever it is, then I can do that. But that is what I have found stops any kind of sliminess from the bindi, right? So, Carrie, you know, our time flies when you're here with us.
No!
And we have the adverts coming up now. We do need to take these adverts. So I want to say thank you so much for being with us.
Anytime,
and we're going
I'm really enjoying it.
Another monthly roundup next month with you, inshallah. So we will speak to you in the March. My goodness, in the March, inshallah. So Jazakallah so much for being with us. And once again, your contact details, please.
You can find me at Colourful Splendor. We have one in Honeydew and one in Craighall. Otherwise, my email is carrie@colourfulgroup.co.za. And
wonderful.
Yeah. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, folks, we're going to take that ad break now, and we'll be back right after this.
Call us now on 0861 904 904.
Welcome to Simplex Radio. Visit our showroom for the full range of car audio. Our TV department carries top brands with quality LED panels, full HD to Ultra HD, and now the experience of Super Ultra HD. Visit our theater rooms and transform your home with brands like Onkyo, Integra, Denon, Boston Acoustics, Yamaha, and more for quality audio visual experience. Now available, full range of home appliances. A one-stop shopping experience. Call 031 306 4029 or Kenilworth Park 202 Brickfield Road, Overport. Simplex Radio, the name you can trust. No need for cooking lessons when you can be your own master chef with Spice Genie. Our unique box range of 21 authentic dishes offers you the perfect solution. So whether you are a mom in a hurry, a student, or having friends over, the Spice Genie offers stress-free cooking that turns out perfect every time. Saving you time, saving you money. Spice Genie range now available at Amina's Wonder Spice, BB's Bakery, and Delta Superette. The Spice Genie, a perfect meal every time.
This Ramadan, let's spread kindness and modesty. Many children and abas in rural areas cannot afford proper modest wear. I am Bibi Aisha Lehe from Phenomenal Family, and I will be collecting gently worn abayas, scarves and kurtas to help those in need. Please drop off your donations at the Al Ansar Foundation or call 031 208 1601 to contribute.
As school opens, School Matters, in partnership with Save Hyper and Radio Al Ansar, is calling you to help a child step into the new year with confidence. Be collecting school uniforms and school shoes, new or gently used, to support learners in need. Drop off your donations at Save Hyper 362 Victoria Road or at Radio Al Ansar 240 Ortman Road, Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 3 p.m. Let's come together, uplift our community, and make a real difference, one child at a time. School Matters, Save Hyper, and Radio Al Ansar, because education starts with dignity.
Celebrate with flavor. Come visit the all-new Checkers Saxony Westwood. From cured meats, rich and savory, to spicy tandoori chicken, try our authentic Indian curries, perfectly seasoned and ready to serve. Everything is made fresh daily with care and quality you can taste. Our halal-certified deli brings you freshness, flavor and variety worth coming back for. Whether you're setting the table for family or sharing something special on the go, discover the Checkers Saxony Westwood Deli, where good food is always on the menu. Checkers Saxony Westwood, butchery, bakery and deli, certified by the NIHT. Doors open on October 30th. See you there.
Eid is coming and every child dreams of dressing up. But sadly, many little ones might not. Join me, Razia Rangwage. And me, Fatima Karim. As we race to clothe every deserving child this Eid. For just 1,000 Rand, you can give a complete outfit. Zakat and Lillah welcome. Call Outreach now on 031 208 1601 and bring joy to a child's Eid.
Hungry for a deal that hits the spot? Get the top duo deal. 2 large margarita pizzas plus 1 topping each for $1.99. Or go big or go home with the Bellissima duo deal. 2 large Bellissima pizzas for $2.69. Pure flavor perfection. And that's not all. The snack box combos are here. Your pizza boy's favorite pack to the ultimate munch box. Don't forget our daily lunch specials. Delicious, quick and wallet friendly. Only at Pizza Boys. Taste that hits different. Pizza Boys. Bring your va-va-voom to your slice of life. Find your nearest Pizza Boys near you. Pizza Boys, we don't cut corners.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban, South Africa.
Hey, we are back to Green Thumbs Up, and we're that gardening natural living show you didn't know you needed. We've just been speaking about gardening and bindi, okra, and we've got a couple of messages to take. Sister Fatima Effendi says she's got some red basil, mint, and oregano added in her gardening containers, and she got some marigolds to light up the place. So and she says Mubarak Ramadan to all, because it is the Ramadan countdown, folks. Yes, it is. Countdown Ramadan is here. Another message coming in, and then from anonymous, I almost said your name. Oops. We wash bindi. Wipe each one with paper towel, slice it and fry it in oil for a few seconds. Then add it to tomatoes, chutney, and enjoy. Yummy. No sticky stories. Sticky stories. We don't like sticky stories with the okra. Do you like okra? Do you like bindi? Brother Sbanisi, do you like bindi? Okra?
Bindi.
He's not quite sure what it is. Okay, we're going to have to show you. We have to get you growing some. So with me in studio today is Andre Kutsia. Now, why are we talking irrigation? When I was overseas with visiting with my mother, I noticed that as we age, it becomes harder to kind of, stand there and water pots, and the dangers of tripping over and falling if you're an elderly person are real. So whether you have a balcony or you have a garden, it's a good idea to put in a little bit of kind of a water system. So Andre Coetzee is a water system specialist, and he's got hands-on experience with all sorts of irrigation systems, from water backup solutions, filtration, boreholes, pressure pumps. He's built a reputation for very practical problem solving. So send in your questions, and for quality workmanship over the past 12 years. Now, he works closely with residential, agricultural, as well as small commercial clients, and he offers those tailored solutions to people in terms of long-term systems performance. Andre is quite passionate about responsible water use, as we must be, because it's hot, and we cannot be wasting water. And he's known for his very professional approach and clear communication. So he's going to combine technical knowledge with real-world experience for us here this morning. Welcome, Andre, to Radio Al-Ansar. How are you this morning? And thank you for coming to see us.
Good morning, Rabia, and good morning to the listeners. I'm going to speak in English, not in Afrikaans today.
Ja, nee, ons kan bietjie, maar our listeners are mostly English, and my Afrikaans is nie so baie goed nie. It is over there. Tell us now, if people are at home, what's the first thing they need to think about when it comes to, do I need irrigation?
Well, I would say irrigation, you need irrigation. You need to get your plants watered. Mm-hmm. You don't want to waste water, and you don't want to overwater, but you also don't want to underwater.
Yes.
So, there's a very fine line to get the right amount of irrigation and to get your plants grow, because especially in this heat that we're currently having in KZN, it's enormous hot. And we just need to water our plants regularly, because otherwise they just
die. And I do find, with this heat, I always say water either early in the morning or late in the afternoon, or both, if you can do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so especially early in the morning before 8, that's what you want to do, because you don't want the water to be on your leaves and on that, because otherwise they will burn by the sun. Or otherwise when it's like hot, especially like now, you want to water late at night, so you give the water some time to soak into your pots, into your soil, and the plants actually absorb the water much better in that way.
Yeah. So what are some alternatives? Let's say you've got someone at home who's got a small piece of land, maybe, 2 by 3 meters, it's not big. And then they've got all of these pots. What kind of solution would you say to them, apart from a hose pipe, because that they can actually, just switch it on and switch it off? Is there something simple?
Yeah, because these days, watering with a hose pipe is, that's bad. That's wasting a lot of water. So we're fortunate with the technology that we have these days. We have Wi-Fi controllers which you can switch on and off. You have a solenoid which you can connect to your garden. You have, for each pot, you can put a pot stake that can control your water, and it's just switching on regular times whenever you need it to switch on. So whether you don't have to wake up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, you set your timer, switch it on and switch it off. And there's plenty of sensors that you can add to the system to make it so much better, because the sensor can detect your moisture in the soil is dry. And then what will happen, it will automatically switch on your controller, or there's like a rain sensor. So your rain sensor will also detect whether it's raining, and then also your irrigation system won't switch on by itself.
Gosh, so it feels like irrigation has really moved in leaps and bounds. I remember going to the garden center and just buying a long pipe, and then onto that putting those thinner little pipes with those little stands that stick into the ground. I know the names of none of these things, so you have to use your imagination, dear listeners. And then connecting the tap to the hose pipe to the end of it, so that when I wanted to switch it on, I'd open the tap. So that's like DIY broke, standard. But you're talking about sensors so can you tell how much moisture is in the soil and then it automatically switches on? Is this what we're talking about?
Yes, so you can basically set the parameters to a certain percentage, and that detects whether it's too dry or too wet, and then it sets off your system for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or a minute, depending on the milliliters per pot, or if you have your lawn that you want to water or whatsoever.
And so you could be away, and from your phone, you can do like a tappity switch on the...
That's the nice part about the Wi-Fi options that's there. So what they actually do, let's say you're away and there's a leak on your system, which we occur, or what we get most recently. So your neighbors call you and say, hey, your garden is flooding, what. So you maybe in Cape Town or overseas or whatever. So you go on your phone, you press stop on your app, you call a specialist and they come out, they sort out your garden. So it's just that easy that you can stop it from anywhere in the world with Wi-Fi.
Wow. Wouldn't that be nice if you could do it for the whole house as well?
Yeah, so basically your whole garden, you can set it off in that way. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So question is it better to water the stems of plants and not the leaves? I always say water low.
Yes.
Plants don't necessarily like the leaves to be wet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, especially I usually use this example. Whenever you water and your water spray on top of the leaves, that leaves create like a magnifying glass with the sun, and that magnifying glass, we all know what the magnifying glass does in the sun. It burns the leaves, and then your leaves turn yellow and they die.
And that's also the risk, I think, for some of the forest fires that we've seen across Europe. I don't know if Cape Town was the case, but where there's, I saw this the other day on a show. See, there's a little water droplet on a leaf. The sun hits it and it reflects it like a little magnifying glass, exactly what you're saying. And somewhere nearby, there's dry grass, and the next thing you have a fire, and the fire spreads, particularly when there's a lot of high heat, and then you get a little bit of rain, and then there's high heat, which is exactly what we're seeing now.
Yes.
We do the weather in this show, every show, and this show, particularly today, I didn't do the weather because the weather everywhere is 3 words. It is hot. Dis warm. Bietjie warm oral. It is quite hot everywhere. Question here, but that was to do with our okra. So we'll do that a little bit later. So now tell us, if you've just got pots on a balcony, okay, you're living in an apartment, you've got a few pots, maybe again we're dealing with granny, who's home. How can she water these things without having to go out into the veranda and go and water these pots?
Yeah, so what you'll do, if you have a tap on your balcony or something, there's this small tap timer that you connect directly onto the tap. That times the water to go on and off. Whether you're a granny or who you are, you can easily go onto an app, switch that on and off, or you can just digitally set it on the timer, let it come on and off. You have your pipes running from your tap to each pot with your pot stake in, and that just water, so you can adjust your nozzles to actually water that size of pot that you're having.
Okay, now let's take it the other extreme, because some of our listeners are commercial growers or have large properties, and so they are trying to water trees and trying to water vegetables and trying to water fruit. And this question is very applicable, because you've got, do you water the stems or do you water the base? And when it comes to trees, fruit trees particularly, we need to water all the way to the outer canopy. So for the listeners, it's basically, if you were to look at the tree from a distance and in your mind imagine the outermost leaf right around, that's where you actually need to water. And I find people watering just at the stem, at the stump, and then wondering why the tree doesn't do it. So what do you do then with these bigger bigger places.
Yeah, so especially in that place, is like you say, you have to imagine the tree and you have to see as big as your leaves is on top of the ground. That's probably how big your roots is below the ground as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what we normally do, you can use normal sprinklers and just spray it all over depending on your water source. But like we know, water is a very rare thing in South Africa at this moment. So there is drip irrigation, which you can build a line and you can cut that line exactly around the size of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you just tape it into your main line and it will drip like 2 liters per hour or whatever you need. So yeah, that's easily to connect and to save water, to water those trees easily.
Mm-hmm,
So, yeah.
mm-hmm. Now, if you have to think about the most advanced kind of technologies that you've seen in terms of watering, because let's look at it. We've got AI technology coming out. AI is in everything, and AI is being used to create all sorts of things, to come up with innovative ideas. We've got, you mentioned soil sensors. I'm sure there will be pH meters, but you've got to run around and, you know, measure your plants with a pH meter. What have you seen that's kind of the cutting edge from an irrigation perspective?
Yeah, so basically in today's world, we have the privilege of all of this AI and weather stations and all of those type of things. So as much as you can think it, as long as there's a sensor for heat or water or whatever, you connect it to your system and the system communicates and you can set all your parameters to that. So for example, what we've seen in in America and those places, what they do, especially in Australia, where there's wildfires coming,
Mm-hmm.
they have these heat sensors on a pole with a data station actually there,
Mm-hmm.
and the moment that heat sensor detects heat, it automatically switches on your irrigation system and it starts spraying water. So it protects the farmer's fields, it protects all of that from the actually fire coming into their farms, because they have irrigation all around their things. So.
I would imagine that's quite relevant. I've seen it done in vineyards, and I've seen it done in olive plantations as well. So there's quite a lot to irrigation nowadays. It seems to be there's options galore. So folks, you know what, you can check out the options that you have for irrigation, and Andre is someone that could probably help you if you have any questions. How could listeners reach you?
Yeah, so they can contact me on my contact number. It's 078-3510-234, or they can send me an email. It's andrec@turfact.co.za.
Okay, so that is it. What would you give as a message to our listeners in terms of irrigation at the moment in the heat? And you will answer that in a second. I just wanted to ask you one last thing, because I've just suddenly remembered this was on my list, is I've seen these people misters, is what I call them, you know, and I love these things. You go out onto your patio and there's something that just mists. It's a very fine mist. What do you call those? How do they work?
Yeah, so your misting nozzles and things that you get, they basically, you get your main pipe from your tap and they regulate the water. So that's a lot of things that people don't understand, because everybody just think it's just a nozzle and you connect the nozzle and it sprays. But unfortunately, it's not that simple. So each nozzle have a tiny hole, and some of them are like 1 millimeter or less than 1 millimeter, and that actually regulates the water. And then you actually get where it distributes through the nozzle and it sprays into your pot or into your garden. So you have different degrees, like a 90 degree, 180 degree, or 360 degree. And that helps that the things aren't overspraying, because overspraying is a huge thing as well. We're busy wasting water from spraying it onto your paving, which is completely unnecessary. So
Yeah, the rocks don't grow. And on that note, we must thank you so much for being on the show with us this morning. I have just a couple of comments that have come in. Stay water wise. Very important. We have to stay water wise, especially in this heat. And also remember that if you wanting to, there are granules that you could put into your soil, in your pots, that will help to retain some of the moisture. So thank you so much, Andre. So we're going to switch over to something else now, just for a little bit. I've got a question that has come in here, and that is, what do we do, Salams, which fertilizer to use after fruiting? So once your tree has fruited, and you're wanting to, with lychee trees, you're wanting to actually prune them after fruiting. So prune your trees, and then you need something that's high in nitrogen. So nitrogen, think green. If it's green, it's nitrogen. If you purchase a nitrogen higher NPK, that's your nitrogen, your potassium, and your phosphate, right? Make sure the N is higher. That's your nitrogen. If you're wanting to make your own at home and you're wanting to fertilize your lychee tree and you've got a big property, you've just cut a lot of grass, you can actually use that grass to liquidize with fruit, and then, with water, and then you could use that as a nitrogen boost for your plants. Some lovely nitrogen boosters as well, of course, is your Seagrow, your kelp concentrates and formulations. Be sure that your kelp formulations are not high in salt, because salt is not good for your trees. So I hope that helps you with your lychee tree. A comment that came up about okra. I don't like okra. It is too slimy for me. So then don't eat your okra. That's okay. There's lots of other wonderful things that we can be growing and that we can be eating. Brother MH Osman says, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Rabia. Always a pleasure listening to you. I love bindi. Well braised with onions and dry chilies too. It's tops with homemade roti. Yes, it is. Now, speaking of bindi and the onions that we put in there, remember, onions have many, many different health benefits. And just for those of you who may be going through a flu, Sibonisu, that was you. Yeah. That was you. Onions are great to detoxify the system, and there's a couple of ways in which you can use them. The first one, it's an old wives' tale, but it's not a tale. It's truth. Yeah. You can slice those onions, you can put them on the soles of your feet, and you can put some socks on to keep them in place or bandage them in place. That is going to draw out a fever. Okay. The option to onions on the feet is potatoes on the forehead, just by the by. Anyway, the other thing that you can do with onions is to make yourself onion skin tea. That is the brown skin of an onion, ideally a brown onion. Take the brown skins of one onion, put it in a pot with half a liter of water, bring it to a boil, switch off the heat, let it sit there. Let it talk to itself for about 10 minutes, and then you can strain it. Add some honey if you like, ideally even better, some stevia, and then sip, sip, sip. Gargle with it if you like. That's also great. It's antibacterial, it's antiviral, so fantastic for your sore throats. And then, Sister Razia, this is Razia Khan. She says, Salams, hope you're well. I love okra, just cooked it but with a week, fried it in onions. Yum. So there's your onions again, right? If you have a chestiness, and this worked during the pandemics for the elderly people and the children, you've got a chest that is completely bunged up because this heat is playing tricks with us. Take your 2 large onions, slice them finely, put them into a pan, add 2 tablespoons of water, and on very low heat, let them just change color. You want them hot. Put them on the chest over a piece of fabric so it doesn't burn the skin. And you can add them just like that, or you can add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch before you add them in. That retains the heat of the onion skins. Put a hot water bottle on there and let it just get better. Now, I still have Andre here in studio because I forgot to ask him one question. So I'm going to go back to him. Andre, I wanted to ask you, where can we actually reach you? Because I forgot to ask you that. How can we reach you? How can our listeners reach you for that information and products? Because I know you also deal with products.
Yeah, so we are available on online website
Yes.
It's turfact.co.za. So the people are more than welcome to click on there. You can go online there. They can come into store, visit us at 1451 Chris Honey Road, Unit 3. We all capable people there with lots of experience in the field, people that love irrigation. We do irrigation designs and all of that. So yeah, the people can come in there, or they can just simply call us on 078-351-0234.
Okay, great. Give us this number again.
078-351-0234.
Perfect. Thank you so much once again. I just needed to just get that information from Andre. He's come all the way out here to talk to us in person, so you know where to find him for irrigation, all your irrigation concerns. Okay. Now, Sister Fatima says, I must have onions in my omelette every morning. Onions really help to boost your immune system. Onions help to get rid of parasites in your body together with garlic. So a nice thing that you can do is you can actually take a whole onion and you can take a whole head of garlic cloves. Peel the garlic cloves, peel the onion, mince the two together, and whatever quantity you have there, add the same amount of honey. Put it together. Mix it. Now you're going to add, for every 100 milliliters of that stuff, okay, of that mix, you're going to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That is your preservative. And you're going to put it in your fridge. Now, what do you use this for? You can use it for cooking. You can take a teaspoon of that and actually put it into a cup of boiling water. Let it stand for 10 minutes and then strain the stuff out. Add your honey or your stevia and sip it when you have sore throats. You can use that as a wash on your skin for bug bites, insect bites, scrapes and things. Yes, the onion and the garlic is going to work as an antiseptic. It's going to clean out that anything that might be in there, any bugs, any viruses. You've got antiviral, it's an antibacterial, and it's an antimicrobial all together right there. If you want to get really fancy schmancy, you've taken your whole onion, you've taken your whole head of cloves of garlic and peeled them, you've minced them together, you've now taken that, and for every 100 mils, you've added a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. But now you want to give it antiviral like rumor. You're going to add rosemary. So that same tablespoon of apple cider vinegar that you're going to use, you're going to add a tablespoon of rosemary and mince it again. This is a paste that can stay in your fridge. You can leave it in your fridge easily for 2-3 months. Not too much longer than that, it'll start to ferment. You can use it, as I say, in your food. And not only that, if you don't mind the smell too much, you can actually use it in your hair as a paste against alopecia and against hair loss. So there you have it. Onions and garlic are your friends. And we've come to the end of the show. It is 1 minute to 10 and the news is going to be coming through for you with Eric once again. So until next week, please remember that today is a beautiful day to be happy. Please stay hydrated. It's your water. It's your pinch of bicarbonate. It's your pinch of pink salt. And it's your honey, if you'd like, as an alternative. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. And Brother Sibunisu is telling me, check a message. Here we go. Brother MH Osman, always with the jokes. You see, it had to come in. I don't know why it's called garlic. I call it garlic cashew. There we go. It's a little garlic cashew. It's not a clove. I like that. From now on, garlic will take your little garlic cashew. Until next week, it's a beautiful day to be happy. Stay cool.